Welcome to the Empowered Leader Podcast, where bold, marginalized voices rise and get amplified, and the people who champion them step fully into their power. I'm Margaret Williams, your leadership coach and energy builder, here to fuel your growth with real talk, elevated strategies, and unapologetic empowerment. If you're ready to break limits, disrupt the norm, and lead with purpose that actually moves people, let's dive in.
I did a test with Will, okay? I was like, Will, I don't know what I'm doing here. Can you go on and show me how to do this, okay? So apparently it's working, and that's a good thing, even though I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so we're here. I said I was going to do this because I told Will yesterday it's time for me to take things to the next level, okay? And that's what we have to do. We have to try things out and see how things work out, right? I like the presentation, okay? Because with the brand colors, I was able to put in the overlay, okay? And I got my name down here. And so we're doing good, okay? Outstanding, because my legs is shaking over here because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're here, okay? And that's what we have to do. We have to be willing to try things and see how things are going to work out for us. We don't know, okay? I'm still trying to figure it out. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is that I'm going to start using this Riverside, okay? That way I can connect with people on LinkedIn, okay, YouTube, and whatever other sites that I'm using, okay? Facebook, because I think you have to have at least 1,000 people to go live on, okay? I'm not concerned with that. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Because we are all working ourselves to the bone, right? So it's like, how can I utilize these systems to work smarter, okay? So utilizing this tool, by the time this goes out, I've already reached multiple platforms, people there. They can come in and ask questions, right? Come in, ask questions, and we see where we're at, okay? This is a victory. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, this is a victory, okay? Because I was stuck. I was stuck because I was fearful that I was going to mess up. Of course I'm going to mess up at the beginning, okay? But still, I got this Riverside up and running. Now, why do I have two screens here? I'll figure that out, okay? Because Will told me yesterday, it was yesterday? Yeah, he said he was using Restream. I said, well, I was using Restream too. I had paid for the subscription, but it's ending. So I started looking at the difference between Riverside and Restream, and I decided to go with Riverside instead because it allows you to do extra clips, okay? And it also allows you to do additional editing once your video is done. You get copies of your show notes, okay, with the timestamp, which is really good, especially if you have a YouTube channel, okay? Then you can put all of that information in there, okay? You got to put all the end screens and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's too much. When you're talking about YouTube, it's a lot. Anyway, so having all this information up front, it just makes it easier when people come to YouTube to come and see what this video is about, okay? Because they may not want to watch the entire video for no whole hour, okay? A lot of people have short attention spans. I know I have a short attention span. I like to get straight to the point. Okay, she's talking about something here that I want to know about at 40-minute mark, okay? I don't care about that other stuff. So that's why I chose Riverside, because it'll give you all that information, okay? And also, it gives you the show notes and everything else. And so I want to be able to run this much more professionally. Having been have over 500 podcasts under my belt at this particular time, it's like, well, what can I do to raise the bar? I'm always looking at how can I raise the bar? Because at this point in my career or whatever, I feel like it should be further along. Okay? And this tool here is going to allow me to do that. Okay? So why not utilize it? Okay? I already paid for it. So utilize it. So we'll say, hey, I like Restream. Some people like OBS. Some people like StreamYard. It don't matter what you use, as long as you're utilizing it to this fullest capacity, right? Okay. I already have figured out how to put the overlay in there, and then you can put, the logo. You can have it in the upper right or the left. You can have it in any of these specific corners. Okay, and I just love the way it looks so professional. Okay, welcome to the show. You can put it however you want. You can have it running down to the screen. Do I need all that? No, I don't need all that, because you just go live, and as long as you're authentic, people don't care about all that stuff. Okay, but like I said, I'm just trying to elevate, because I see a lot of other content creators that are utilizing these tools, and I think it just looks really nice, really professional, just taking it above a notch, okay? Because then you're like, dang, nobody's resonating with my, say for example, just like, nobody's resonating with my material. What's going on? Okay, well, you take a step back and you look at what are you bringing to the, first of all, what are you bringing to the table? Okay, like for example, that one last insight that I did, okay? That was one that I had did before. It wasn't no music added. I added the music and I listened to it. I really didn't like that very much. I really didn't. At the time, I didn't think about it, but I just really don't like it. So there's going to be some things that we're just not going to like, okay? But other people might find it just so grand. So, okay, we have to sometimes step outside of ourselves. It's like, this is just not about me. Why did I start this publication to begin with? Okay, I did it because I wanted to write. But like I told you, it's more to a publication than just writing, okay? Who are you writing to? What are you writing about? What impact are you trying to make? Okay, how are you trying to influence people? These are a lot of the things that I really didn't even think about when I started the publication. I said, I just want to write. Okay. Then when I started getting into it, I'm like, oh, it's more to it than that. Okay. Then you got to cultivate and nurture relationships. Well, why should I belong to your publication? Okay. Versus sell. Okay. So we need to think about all these things. And they say, have a plan. Yeah, it's good to have a plan when you know what the hell you're doing. Okay? Now we can kind of figure it out, because I have a lot of expertise in leadership and decision making and all of these other things, but I have no clue about running a publication, what it takes, all of these things. So I just say, hey, I'll ask somebody smarter than me, okay? There's a lot of people out there, subject matter experts, that we can talk to. This would help us along our journey. But in the meantime, okay, because I ain't got no money to pay nobody, okay? So I'm gonna say, okay, chat. What do you think? Okay? Starting with something is better than, because we first start off at 0, okay? So coming from 0 to 1%, that's really good too, right? So I'm asking myself all of these questions, okay? A couple of times I tried to do something, okay? Start a monetization. Okay, I can talk to Claudia Faith. I can talk to Carrie Loringer. I can talk to millions of people and get a bunch of very smart answers from some very great people. But if it doesn't resonate with us personally, it ain't gonna do a hill of beans. It ain't gonna do nothing. So you have to figure out what it is that you want, how you want to deliver it, what is that gonna look like? Okay? A lot of times we don't know all that stuff until we start putting shit out there. You start putting stuff out and like, oh, okay, they resonating with these notes. they're resonating with these specific articles. You can go back and look at the data. Sometimes you can't, because if you don't get any likes, then you go back. Then what do you do? Okay, if I don't get any likes, then what do I do? Since these all, most everything that I'm doing is a podcast. Okay, I can't look at the internal data. I have to look at the external data. Okay, I look at the external data. Okay, the downloads is down. Okay, fine. Well, I've probably pissed a lot of people off, and I've cut people off as well. So, for my own safety and security, because if I don't feel safe, I can't stay on Substack to give anybody any information. So first start there. We have to first feel safe within ourselves, within our environment, because if we don't, that's going to impede our creativity. It's going to create our productivity. It's going to impede our communication, internal and external communication. So we need to get ourselves in order first before we say, hey, this is what I'm going to offer you. Because if people see that we're really, well, I don't know. I have been really wounded, okay? So it's like, if you're really wounded, because somebody had said that to me in notes, and I'm like, well, hey, we all wounded in some kind of way, because none of us are perfect, okay? And we never will be. I don't care what you do in life, how much education you get, how much money you have, we all still are fallible. So if one person thinks that they're better than another, they got another thing coming, okay? They got another thing coming. So, I'm gonna tell you how I'm fallible, okay? Because if I'm coming to you telling you about truth, and I'm gonna tell you a lie, then you're gonna look at me and say, no, you just gonna say, I'm done with her, because what she's saying and what she's doing is contradictory, okay? And that's what we need to be paying attention to. That's why that's why my circle is small right now. Even though we feel like everybody can help us, but everybody cannot help us. Especially if we don't first help ourselves. Nobody can help you. I don't care who you are. People might say, oh, okay, I'll get back to you. Okay? And they never get back to you. It's a reason. And they're not going to necessarily tell you. You just have to be able to read between the lines. Okay? So, for this monetization thing, honestly, I never really wanted to monetize, to be honest. Okay? When I first started, Veronica Lorca Smith told me, turn the paywall on. Okay? And it really made perfect sense at the time, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing anyway. So I turned it on. Okay? All right. I forgot about it. And here I am now. Okay? Then you have paid subscribers, and then it's webs and flows. It goes up and down. And see, that's what I was worried about it. Then when you have this paywall, then you have all these expectations, and then nothing's really defined. I mean, it's like, what am I supposed to provide people with? Okay? Because that has changed over the course of the 2 years. Okay? Since I've been on Substack since November 20, and it's a lot of people. I can tell you, there's no longer on Substack anymore, for whatever reason. Okay, this is not easy. Okay, and you have to have thick skin. If you don't, you can't make it doing this kind of work. Okay, I'm comparing my work with the government in comparison to this work. I'll take this work over that work, because I have control over my schedule, okay, and what I feel is quality, okay, because you're working for an employer. I think this is top quality work that I'm providing you, and they might be like, no, this is substandard, and I'm like, based on what? Okay, so there's a big gap there. So that's why I decided to retire. So this is going to be based on my values, the things that I think that is going to bring value. But then again, that's why feedback is so important, because I think I'm providing you value, and you might say, no, you're not providing us value. This is crap. And you got every right to say that to me. Okay? If it's crap, say it's crap. Okay? Because the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been repurposing material, because I'm just trying to figure out which way I'm going to go from here. Okay? Because like I said, I've been doing this since 24 and I'm tired. That's why I went from writing, okay, to going live because I got bored with writing. Okay? I love going live. I was having problems people showing up to the lives, okay? Or not showing up. Okay, whatever. So I'm like, what am I gonna do instead? We always have to figure out workarounds, okay? Okay, I went to Podmatch. Okay, I connected with people over there after today. That was my 7th interview. Okay? So, hey, my credibility is good over there. Establishing relationships with and cultivating these wonderful relationships is also allowing me to tie back into LinkedIn with all of these individuals. Okay, even people on LinkedIn, hey, they say, hey, we see your clips and stuff that you're sending over here to LinkedIn, and we want to be a part of that too. Okay, they don't necessarily want to join Substack. Okay, because a lot of these people they satisfied where they at. But hey, bring them over here. We can collaborate and raise each other. That's why we have these platforms, is so we can bring in subject matter experts or whatever to raise the consciousness for the collective. Okay, for us all. So I tell people we're utilizing this platform to raise you up, me up, and the people that listens to our messages. That's why we're here. Okay? So this Riverside is going to help me to work smarter, okay, rather than harder, because I'm like, okay, I need to start really cultivating and nurturing these relationships over in LinkedIn, okay? As a certified executive leadership coach, the individuals can pay for my services as well as groups, okay? So we cannot limit ourselves, okay? Substack is only one engine, okay? There's many other ways and other people that needs our services. I see people on Facebook. Look, you can add up to 5,000 people, okay? Knowing all these things, I'm like, okay, well, I really want to start nurturing and cultivating these relationships in LinkedIn. And I know I love music, okay, but I'm more than that. I'm a coach. I can do other things, and so I'm like, okay, I have to have a strategy. We need to have a strategy for each platform that we are utilizing. You're utilizing YouTube. You need a strategy for that. You're using Facebook. You need a strategy for that. Substack, you need a strategy for that. You need a strategy for everything. How are you going to work across these platforms? You want to be able to have a standardized, okay, and your messaging it just speaks you, whichever platform that you try to use. And then you're like, okay, what do LinkedIn prefer? Okay, they prefer the long form. Okay, I know they prefer all of these things. Okay, but yet and still, as a disruptor, I say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this because that's my signature, and this is what makes me stand out. Okay, so that's important to understand too, because if everybody is doing the same thing, then who do you go to? How do you stand out? You can't stand out because everybody's saying the same thing and looking the same. It's like, okay, well, how do I decide which person I want? I'm going to go towards the person that is unconventional. That's me. Okay, I don't want to be like everybody else. Okay, and why should we be? We all are unique. Okay, what is unique about you? What is your special sauce? What do you bring to the table that other people may not have? Okay, and that's a problem, because when you go on these sites, a lot of people you see copying each other, and it's like it don't even look authentic. Okay, we want to bring the authenticity to the table. Is because that is what sells. Okay, that's what makes the difference between a transactional relationship and one that can last the test of time. Okay, one hit wonders. They're made every day. But what is going to be your uh, we have to find what your competitive advantage is, and that is marketing you. Okay, nobody can duplicate you. Okay, and once we realize that, we will stop trying to copy off of others and find what uniquely defines us, like Nike, okay, like Apple, okay. There's only one Apple, there's only one Google, okay. So what makes you you, and what makes you unique? And that's what's going to bring you the success that you want, okay. And it's going to bring the people to help you to build this community in which you're building, okay. So yeah, I end up with egg on my face with this monetization, because I really didn't want to do monetization in the first place, because that means I have to be obligated to give you something every week or whatever. That was really not defined. So we need to be having these communications with our subscribers so we are on the same page. Okay? I lost some subscribers, probably because I haven't been communicating, because I am an avoidant, because I didn't want to have these difficult conversations. Yet and still, we have to have these difficult conversations, because people are relying on us. People are providing us with their hard-earned money, okay? And I recognize that, and I feel guilty sometimes, and I'm like, maybe I should be giving more, okay? So that's why we need to have clearly defined rules, okay? This is what I am providing you for, what you're paying for, okay? I got it up there, but like I said to people, I give you 4 sessions a year as a paid subscriber, okay? You come to me, we sit down, we figure out what it is that you want to create in the next 3 months, okay? And we'll figure out, okay, the steps you're going to take to get that done. Okay? I have skills here. I'm not just twiddling my thumb, and I'm also taking classes in the meantime to up my game as well, to be able to say, hey, all right, I finished that Wiley certification. Okay, I finished this five dysfunctions of a team. Okay, so I can definitely go out and on LinkedIn or whatever, put my proposal together and say, hey, I'm going to do this with your people. Okay, whether it's 5 people, 10 people. Okay, I don't have to do anything but just because they've given me all the marketing material. So I'm working on a multitude of projects, okay? I'm not just here twiddling my thumbs sitting here on Substack, okay? Because in the end, nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. If we don't set out a plan and execute those plans on what type of things that we're going to provide people in the future, then why are we here? Okay, I'm always thinking about what can I provide, and speaking of that, like I said, with the paid subscription, all the paid subscriber have to do is say, hey, let's sit down. I want to schedule a meeting. I want to talk about my plans, what I want to create, and so on and so forth. You've already paid for the paid subscription. Why not utilize the service? Okay, I even ask myself the same thing when I sign up for people's subscriptions. Sometimes I don't even use their service. The main reason I buy it, because we've established these relationships. I've established this relationship with the person. I really, really think they're a serious leader. If I'm going to pay out with my credit card, okay, that means that person means something to me. And so I need to go back and utilize some of those services as well, okay, that I've already paid for. So that's why I'm telling you, if you paid for a service, okay, and especially if you need it, take them up on their offer, okay? That's why they're here. They're here to make money. They're here to help people, okay? And help you to succeed as well. That's why most of us here on Substack, okay, we're here to help each other grow. Okay, and if those people, if you find people that are not willing to help you to grow, then just get rid of them out of your life. You don't need those type of people. Okay, so yeah, I had that, and nobody took me up on my offer, probably because I not out there just wrapping you up upside the head and say, here, I want you to get this paid subscription. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I think people are grown and they don't need me beating them upside the head telling them what to do. Okay, we've all been beat upside the head enough. So I feel like this: if you want the paid subscription, you can get it. Okay, I'm not gonna beg people. Okay, it is what it is. I put it out there. I do my part, and the rest I can't worry about. Okay, and it's like, oh yeah, I should probably put some more CTAs out there. You know, a lot of times people like, she putting those CTAs out there, and sometimes it irritates people because they have no plans on spending no money. Okay, and that's where I'm at today. That's why I like CTA. I'm gonna give you the information. You decide whether you want the subscription or not. You want it, fine. You don't want it, I'm gonna have to figure out how to pay the bills regardless. Okay. So that's why I say we cannot put all of our faith in one basket. Okay, if I'm here to make money, okay, then I'm gonna definitely have to hit you up with these CTAs. I'm gonna have to hit you up with all of these things and say, this is immediate. You have to pay for it immediately if you want it. I'm gonna give you a 25% discount. That's just not my style. Okay, there's people can do that stuff and it's fine, but that's just not me. Okay. And I figured, like, okay, maybe I should turn off the paid subscriptions and just say, give me donations. Okay? I don't know. And I'm not going to try to figure it out today. Okay? I'm not going to try to figure out world peace today because there's no way I can do that. But I'm just explaining to you where I am, and everybody there on their own place in that journey. Okay? If you don't want to monetize your it could be 20 marketers telling you to do it, and you say, no, I don't want to do it. You don't have to do it. Do what you feel in your heart is true. That's what you should do. That's what you should follow at the end of the day, because you go back to that person, you're going to say, well, I did what you told me to do. They're going to be like, well, okay. All right. It's still going to be on you at the end of the day. So do what you feel is right to do. Okay, I don't want you stressing over all of that stuff, because it's like, okay, if the people didn't want me to have the money, they wouldn't have paid for the subscription. Period. Apparently, they knew that I could use the money, and they gave it to me, and I'm blessed by it. Okay, I can eat, I can pay the bills. Okay, I can continue on. I was able to pay for the Riverside, okay, studio because of those subscriptions. So we have to look at it. We have to be, okay, we're always giving, but a lot of us have a problem with receiving. If somebody's going to give you the money and say, I appreciate what you provided me, accept it and say, okay, they see value in you that you don't necessarily see in yourself. So they're telling you right there, we value you. So accept that. Okay? And I accept every paid subscriber. I accept every free subscriber. I even am grateful for every follower. Okay? Every follower I see coming on. Because I can't add anybody. Okay? People are like, why she? I can't add any more subscribers. I can't add any more followers. I have reached my limit. The only way I can add somebody is to delete, okay? And that's a whole nother animal, and I don't want to even do that because I'm out there supporting you guys, okay? Whether you support me or not, because that's what I do. That's what I'm called to do, is to help, inspire, and support others. And if I can't follow the rules that I've set for myself, then how can I expect for you to follow them? Okay? So, exactly. Somebody say, okay, well, I can't afford the subscription. Okay, whatever. All right? It is what it is. I still have to figure out what to do. Okay? So, I don't want nobody to feel pressure about paid subscriptions. I'm not going to say I don't care about it. It's important to me. Okay? It's important to every person to have a publication to have paid subscribers. but I should probably be talking to them more. But I just like, they probably have a lot of stuff on their plate and they don't need no unnecessary emails, just like I don't want any unnecessary emails. Okay. And as far as with the inner circle, I've looked at that thing a few times and I said, the way I had it set up, it's like the military. It's probably really stringent and ain't nobody gonna want to do all that. Okay? Because I'm not gonna want to do all that stuff either at this point in time in my career. Okay? In my life, because I don't have the time for it, the bandwidth or the patience. So I'm like, well, how can I set this up so it's like seamless so people don't have to just go out of their way, because every time I schedule a meeting, I have to figure out what the time is, okay, the time difference, and it pisses me off every time. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out something out in Claude or something just so I don't have to do this manually, everything on time, okay? Because it gets old for me. But I have to do it because I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that we're going to be on the same time zone so we can have this thing, okay? So it's like, okay, all these repetitive tasks, it's like, Claude, whoever, do this. And then just tell me every day what meetings that I have scheduled, interviews that I have scheduled every day so I can plan accordingly, because we have other obligations. You got dogs, you got other things that you have to fulfill. So it's a lot. When you say you want a publication, just like I used to say, oh, I want a puppy. Yeah, you want that puppy, but when you get over there and you start having to clean up after it and everything like that, you're like, oh, dang, I got more than I can bargain for. Okay? So, yeah, be careful what you ask for, okay? And sometimes we need to take a step back and take a pause. It's like that I took a pause, but I'm like, I can't just turn off and just leave people high and dry because I have these paid subscribers, okay? I have these, you guys be looking for me and I be looking for you. It's like, where she at? She ain't here. Yeah, we don't say it out loud, but we be looking for people. You know what I'm saying? So these expectations, and I was like, I got to show up whether I want to or not, okay? And we do. We need to be consistent, okay? They used to say, well, you have to have a scheduling date when you're going to, okay, I'm going to post on Tuesdays or I'm going to post on Wednesday or my office hours is on Tuesday. I'm like, I used to get hung up on that. Life don't always go that way, okay? There's going to be some Tuesdays that I'm just not going to want to come on and be live, period, to talk to anybody. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm coming every Tuesday to have an office visit or meeting, okay? Okay, and then I said, I'm always in the notes, okay? Then we got the chat. So I said, I can't do both of those every day. I'm just only one person. So I'm just trying to figure out which of these things that I can automate so it'll free my time to be able to cultivate and nurture relationships, because unless we cannot make it in business without cultivating and nurturing relationships, not with just existing people, but also with new people, because these people become warm leads. Okay, they may not use your services, but they may know other people that are interested and would recommend your services to other people because of the relationship you have developed with these people. Remember, everything is strategy, and everything we have to prioritize what's important. Cultivating relationships is part of that. Okay, I be tired. Okay, I be up at night. And then 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then I have some Zoom calls that I have to talk to people to see whether they're going to be a good fit to do a live with. Because I'm not going live with nobody unless we do a meeting up front to see whether we are compatible. Okay? Period. And so these things take time. Okay? So we have to fit them in our schedule. And in the meantime, I need to put all these other things together and figure out what the hell is this? Do I need this particular software moving forward? Okay, because for example, I have Canva and then I have the script. Okay, do I need them both? Then I just certain decisions that I have to continue to make. We all have to make to streamline our business, okay? And there's a lot of things that we need to do to so we can keep the competitive advantage, okay? And what does that look like in today's world? Okay, because every day is different, okay? And so you have to look at what your industry is. You have to look at the trends. You know, you have to look at what's happening in the world, and do you want to address these issues based on what your subject matter expert is and your audience. So it's a lot, okay? And I love the research aspect, okay? And so being able to automate a lot of these other lower level tasks will enable me to up my game, my research, my acumen, okay, and the products and services that I'm going to be providing moving forward, okay? Make sure you're protecting your intellectual property as well, especially if you think you can reap benefits later. Because a lot of things I think that I'm doing musically, I'm like, dang, I probably could make some money on that later on. But, sometimes you don't even think about that when you're first starting off. You're just trying to establish yourself, okay? Establish yourself and letting people know what you have to offer. Then they can decide, oh, well, I think I'm going to follow this person and continue to see how they develop, because as we develop, the people that follow us, it's like, yeah, if they can do it, I can do it too. So how are you putting all of these things into play as you're moving forward? Because we are role models. We are people are looking to us to help and to guide them. This is the future, present, and future generation. That's why we are here in this place right now, is to help these individuals along their road, because our ancestors, okay, paved the way that we are on right now. And they would be reeling if they knew that we wasn't doing our part to contribute to the betterment of humanity, okay? And to know that there's a lot of people out there that are trying to stop us from doing that gives us the perseverance to continue anyway, despite their efforts, okay? And that's where I'm at today. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm not getting what I feel that maybe I should, okay, but that's okay. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to help people. But how can I help them on a larger scale? Is to utilize Riverside, okay? I can go live on in LinkedIn at the same time. I can bring people in, they can ask questions, and teaching is really the best way to gain people's trust, okay, through storytelling. You telling people your story, what you went through, your trials and tribulations. People can relate to that, okay? People will you will see people will start to melt, and people will start to gravitate towards you because of your messaging, okay? Everybody's not going to gravitate towards you, and that's okay. Everybody don't like me, and I don't give a damn at this point. We can't worry about who likes us and don't like us. What is your message? Bring your message, keep bringing it, being consistent, and your tribe will come. You will be successful. Trust and believe that. I've been here since November 24. Okay? Am I successful? Success is subjective. Okay? Somebody might say, well, Margaret, I don't think you're so successful. And I'm going to say, well, you can think what you want to think. I don't care. Okay? Because based on what I've seen, okay, I am successful, and you are successful too. You may not be where exactly you want to be in your journey, but you are successful because you are here. You're putting in the work. If you put in the work, you're going to be successful. Okay? Trial and error. What did I do yesterday that was not to my pleasing? Okay, I can do something differently. Just like that one I sent out today. I didn't like the music. Honestly, I could change the music if I want to, but at this point, I don't care. Okay? Because there's 100%. Nothing is ever going to be 100%. Nothing and no one. Okay? Remember that. Give yourself some grace. You deserve that. Okay? We have been tormented. We have been abused by enough people. And just be who you are in this moment. And if somebody don't like it, then to hell with them. Okay? To hell with them. Okay? And that's where I'm at today. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself a big hug. And love yourself. And love and respect yourself. And then others will do the same. But if we don't do that for ourselves, how can we expect for others to do that for us? Right? Just remember that. And we are here for each other as well. Okay? I may not be in my chat every day, but every day you see me in notes. And as far as I'm concerned, that's chat too. Okay? On steroids. Okay? And I love each and every one of you. Okay? And just keep it on, okay? Just stay positive. You got this, okay? And no, we're gonna get there together. I don't know what the circle is gonna look like. I don't even know if it's gonna be on Substack, to be honest with you, okay? Because like I have musical ambitions, and it seems like Substack is more of a writing platform, okay? So you may see me on Patreon, okay? So never limit yourself, because my music is very important to me, and I'm going to see where it takes me, okay? Because it brings me joy, okay? And you find something in your life that brings you joy, bring more of that, okay? And that's where I'm at today, and that's where my happiness lies. So I'm going to follow that and see where it takes me. But I also love doing interviews, okay? And I love meeting interesting people and having interesting conversations. So that is not going to end, okay? So we all need to figure out what our end goal, because Stephen Covey, he said, begin with the end in mind. You can't just sit there and just keep going through the motion. Where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and what does that look like? You mean to tell me you want to be in the same situation you are right now 2 years from now? I don't think so. So you need to start asking yourself these questions right now. And when I put those insights out, I ask you these questions for a reason. And I really want you to seriously think about it, because you're the only one that's going to be able to answer those questions. And you're the only ones that are going to have to suffer the consequences or the joy that comes from your labor. But if you don't do the work, you can't. That's the problem with a lot of people. They want to get all the glory, but they don't want to do the work. Okay? And then people look at us and say, "You think you better than me?" No, I don't think I'm better than any damn body. I think that if I want something, I got to do the work to get the results that I want. And that goes for anybody. I don't care who you are. Okay? And we need to bring people down a couple of pegs. Do the work, and you'll have success like me too. Okay? Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. Next. Okay? We need to learn how to be selfish and tell people the truth. Tell it like it is. Okay? Tell it like it is. So, thank you all. I don't know which screen, whatever. I'm going to figure that out. But at least I had this live today on Riverside, and I consider that a success, okay, in itself. All right. Thank you all so much for your time, for your patience, and for your patronage. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Empowered Leader, where we lift marginalized voices and the people who support them. If today's episode fired you up, share it with someone ready to lead with courage and conviction. Follow the show for more power-packed insights. Connect and subscribe to iProfessional Coach on Substack for tools to elevate your leadership journey. Until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and keep using your voice for impact.